Thank you. I hope everyone hears me well. I will try to be as brief and concise as possible. The topic and responses to the topic is already a given, isn't it? It's very, very dark. The domain is getting narrower and narrower, particularly following the conventional journalism in Turkey. The state of digital journalism is also being extremely pressurized in increasing levels by the government pressure, government measures. I think the now 5 or so months old COVID wave made the conditions even harder. In many ways, it has confirmed how hard it is to conduct journalism, domestically speaking, inside Turkey, but also given the overall view of the landscape, media landscape in Turkey, just as a confirmation of that we are going to have to go through even harder times. In general, as almost a rule in Turkish domain, the access to information, transparency has always been deeply problematic, with or without challenges like COVID-19. Although there was a very brief thaw in media's access to the sources, official sources, let's say between 2002 through maybe 2005 or 6, this has reversed in a very, very severe way. Access to information was promised by the government, but that promise was never fully responded and established as a systematized reform. And that, of course, provided and still provides a lot of difficulties. You, as a journalist in conventional media, or be that in digital media, are left in the dark. Local administrations, as well as central administration, does never allow full access to information or databases that are supposed to be open and public. Also, another important element that makes things difficult is the decline of professionals in the sector. There was really never well-defined investigative journalism in Turkey. Very, very few journalists could have possibilities, resources to work as investigative reporters, but they were actually only a handful. So this tradition is not there in Turkish landscape. So all we are left with is basically scarcer and scarcer resources, lower and lower budgets, and given to that also nearly suffocated conventional media in Turkey. Up to 93, 94% of the conventional media sector is now under direct control or indirect control of the government, which means we are facing a huge propaganda or black propaganda machine in Turkish domain. The small flicker of light has been, in the past 5 or so years, digital media, pockets of it, small entities inside Turkey and outside Turkey, which has been making some, given us some possibilities to at least cover what we can have access to through local reporters, through digital networks that are able to reach us. Lately, challenges have geometrically multiplied to us. The latest development has been the social media law, the amendments to it, which was already problematic. Now, the government, which is now deeply stuck in a crisis, multi-layered crisis, social, economic, cultural, foreign policy like diplomatic, is in deep dislike for anything left as free or independent media. And this unified allergia or resistance to give access or to give free space to the activities of free and independent media and digital domain covers all the areas that government wants to keep in the dark. Lately, if one should focus on COVID-19 and its coverage, a lot of difficulties came from in the health sector. I'm not speaking about the ministry or departments related to it, to have normal access to doctors or health personnel. The local reporters and sources that we as Ahval have been working with have always had severe difficulties to overcome the intimidation, fear, anxiety of these health sector sources to give us credible information. Most of them stayed away and still do. So what in such circumstances we are left with was only a group of brave doctors and health personnel or ex-health personnel who have access to, on their own, to people through different means to get the information that we think is valuable to make public. So that's why our coverage, including Ahval's coverage and other alternative media coverage, has been very, let's say, arithmetical. It wasn't really rhythmic. It wasn't consistent as we want it to be. Sometimes we focus on certain provinces, in the eastern provinces, Kurdish provinces, for example, which is now at the epicenter of the, again, highly rising epidemic in those provinces. The fear of police, because Turkey has more or less turned into a police state, is very clear. So what we get is basically sort of a third level information. Somebody tells somebody who tells somebody, and it makes it, of course, very difficult to confirm or verify the information, but we can try to vet it through different channels in order to be able to reach information that we think has news value. So this is a great challenge. Also, the reporters or people who domestically get in touch with those sources, hospitals, health centers, etc., physically mainly are unwilling to do so, because as soon as a name of the outlet is mentioned, if it is, let's say, Halk TV, which is an extension of the main opposition party, or any outlet that is possibly linked with the Kurdish political movement, or any liberal outlet such as Ahval or any other alternative outlet, is like entering, mentioning it, the name in such cases is like entering a minefield. And those reporters are high-risk persons, which, of course, we don't want them to cause any harm to them, to their work, to their well-being, because arrest is very common. So this is a very rough environment. And as I said in the beginning, and I will conclude there, it's only the pandemic has only confirmed and doubled the stakes on the conditions that we have to work in such countries. Nevertheless, we continue to do what we have to do because we are professionals. This is what we do. This is what we are trained or educated to do. And our main duty is to enlighten and inform the public as much as best as we can. That's where we are. I would say perhaps apart from China, I think Turkey stands out as the country whose conditions for journalism is really at the rock bottom.